Welcome back to another episode of the podcast From the Depths of Darkness to the Light of Success. I am your host, Chris Swick, and on this podcast, we talk about mental health, addictions, and anything, ADHD related. At the end of the day, everyone is valuable to me. Everyone's story is valuable at the end of the day. Does not matter what walk of life you come from. You're all welcome on my platform. And before we get going, though, head over to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, or head over to Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find it all over there, and hit me up over on Instagram. Please feel free to reach out. I am always a DM away or an email away. It's depthsofdarkside@gmail.com. Thank you again for coming back to from the depths of darkness to the light of success. Again, I'm your host, Chris Swick. Let's get right into today's episode. I got an amazing guest from Guelph, Ontario. I got Jason Inglis on the show today. You want to take it away and let them know a little bit about you, Jason, and what
Hey,
you're all about?
yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. What's up? My name's Jay. I'm an artist here in Guelph, Ontario. I was born and raised, self-taught artist kind of thing. I love just painting and drawing fantasy creatures. Most of it was dark and crazy looking until I hit a slip and I cleaned myself up. And next thing I'm making some really cool fantasy art. Yeah, that's me. I do karate. I'm a black belt at Sealy here. That's been around for 31 years this year, I guess. But I haven't been doing it that long, but I am back into it and it's really fun. But yeah,
You have a black belt in what? Sorry, Jason?
karate.
That's amazing, man. And have you been doing that since a young child?
Yeah, I was little boy, and then I took some time off after around high school, and then I haven't been back, and then COVID happened, and I really started seeing myself in a gi again, and for some reason I couldn't stop picturing myself in it, and so I reached out to the Shihan, and next thing, here I am, back in the gi, working at it.
That's amazing, man. And it must have taken you a long time to work your way up to that black belt. A lot of hard work, dedication. Lots of people go through life and don't achieve anything, but that's an amazing achievement. And it takes a lot of guts and heart. And like I said, hard work, blood, sweat, and tears to get to where you are, man. To get that black belt.
Yes, sir. It was, I remember going through the grading for it. It was a 2-day process at one point. We're out running 5K every week, trying to put that in, and then the two-day training or 2-day grading was running out in the not the wilderness, but down I don't know what street it was, but down towards a farm and back, and then we had to run up and down these dirt hills doing push-ups. It was almost like not marine training, but it was hard. It was hard, and the dedication from my parents to get me there every night to train was one of the reasons I did it too, even when I didn't want to, get a foot in the butt, and we're like, "Let's go, we're going to karate," and so my dedication has lacked lately, but I'm getting back onto it slowly and steadily. It wins the race.
What was it that got you into karate? Was it just that camaraderie with the other students there at the time? Or what was it that sort of drove you? Hey, I really want to do karate.
One Christmas, we opened up a gift from my parents, and there was our gis. But we always used to watch Jean-Claude Van Damme movies and Bruce Lee movies and all that stuff. And next thing you know, my mom and dad put us into karate, and we just never really looked back from that point.
That's amazing, man. And at the beginning of the episode, you're talking about art and dark art. Now, what put you in that place drawing that dark art before you got into recovery?
I grew up on horror movies and reading Stephen King and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure the that had something to do with it most. But I was just in a very dark place. I was depressed and going through anxiety and addiction at the same time, and it was just this cyclical thing that just kept making it getting worse and worse. And just so the only things that I could ever think of drawing and creating were these beasts and monsters. And they were fun to create and they're good and it wasn't bad art. It was just, I think that's where my soul was at the time. It was in a dark place and it was just me coming out, manifesting in my art. And
Now, would that drawing that dark art, would that give you that sense of relief almost like it would an addict with their drugs? Would that give you that euphoria sort of thing
yeah,
to let loose, except on a piece of paper or with your pens and markers and stuff like that?
yeah, I would get into that flow state much easier when I was using. But when I wouldn't feel anything, and that was the escape of it. That was the euphoria came after I finally did that last stroke on the pallet or on the canvas. That's when the euphoria hit, and I felt started feeling something other than like miserable. Yeah, the addiction was just a way to get into that state easier. And like sometimes I don't even remember doing the work, to be honest with you. I just remember I just look at pieces and I was like, I don't even remember doing that because I was so gone, which is upsetting because I'd really like to remember doing that stuff.
And to give the audience a better perspective, what kind of drugs were you into and stuff like that? Like, we don't need to glorify our uses and stuff, but
Uh,
like, what kind of drugs were you into at the time, Jason?
I was just heavily smoking weed, smoking pot, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, never done anything but that, and tried mushrooms every once in a while because those were a good time, but it was weed. It was just a lot of weed. And when COVID hit and we got those CERB payments, and it was just like, hey, I can buy all the weed I want in the world. But that in turn would make my depression worse, would make my anxiety worse, and then my isolation would happen. And so I would not leave my house. And I would walk my dog and people would ask me questions about my dog because she's got 3 legs, and they're like, "Is she alright?" I was like, "Yep, nothing wrong with her," and I just walk away because I wouldn't be able to talk to people. I could literally not look people in their eyes when I was always
You'd
using.
almost look at them like they had 2 heads.
Yep, yep. Like, "Oh, what do you mean what's wrong with my dog? She's fine, look, she's walking." Yeah, it was yeah, I would find reasons just to take her out just so I can go to a weed shop and pick up because she's welcome at the weed shop and everyone loved her. So I was like, I gotta walk the dog. And next thing, there I am. Here we go.
Yeah, and I can relate to you about the anxiety and those types of things, and even the social anxieties, especially when I had smoked weed after I got into recovery, and I was like, "Weed's gonna fix the depression, the weed's gonna do this."
Yeah.
But it heightened my anxiety, it heightened so many things from all the other drugs I'd done. It really wasn't helping me, it was actually making things worse. And I finally said, "You know what? The weed's not for me either, to it's not gonna be this medicinal thing, it's not gonna be the be all end all, and I think I just need to quit everything," and that's the way it was too for me. Weed
Yeah.
never helped my anxiety or depression like I thought it would, because it became another addiction then, and when I didn't have it, I could see that anger coming out of me and those types of things.
Yeah. Like I can relate with that. Like the irritability when I wouldn't have any or when I was running low, snapping, and it would turn into rage really quickly. And so it started being a real problem. I started cutting myself off from my friends and started thinking like my friends didn't like me, didn't love me anymore. And so I'd just be deleting them off social media. And it's just because it was too hard to watch them go out and have fun without me and not invite me and all that. And it was just, and that was the addiction talking. It was just like, they don't like you. It's like that little worm tongue guy from Lord of the Rings. They don't like you. And you're just like, yeah, I know. So why am I worrying about them? But looking back now, it's just fuck, I was so far gone, man. It's wild that it's like a night and day thing once you get clean and start doing all the work for yourself.
100%, man. It's such a 180 to see where you were and where you are today. I remember talking to you and you're like, "Yeah, I'm going into treatment and this and stuff." And I was just so proud of you for doing that, man. Now, that leads into my next question: acceptance, belief, and change. What have the ABCs of recovery helped you so far?
First thing was it took me a long time to accept that I had a problem. It was like I'd be going through the motions, right? And once I got through this bag, I'm done. I'm not gonna smoke anymore. And then all of a sudden I'd be already like opening up my apps and I'd be like, okay, what can I get for this much and all this stuff. And so once I finally accepted that, like I couldn't really control it and my life had become unmanageable, I reached out to my doctor and I said, man, I need to go into treatment. I need help. So I ended up having to call the Homewood myself and ask for help. And once I got in there, I was all in. I was trying to do the best I could. And then I started finding a belief in myself that I can get better because I was watching everybody else get better as well. So, like, belief in others and belief in myself, which gradually led to this weird spiritual awakening and this change that I can't explain it. Like, I can, but I won't do it justice. I don't think anybody else can explain it or will know how it feels unless they have their own spiritual awakening as well. once I got out, I was talking to a buddy and I said, "Man, the trees are greener, the sky's blue, and like the water in the river just sounds amazing." And he's just, "The trees have always been green. The sky's always been blue. You're just seeing things clearly now. It's clarity that you're feeling." And so I might have been on the rosy cloud of recovery for a while. But yeah, it's been a wild ride and I feel so much better about myself and so much more confident.
I can feel you. I can so relate to that too. I remember sitting, and just to put everything into perspective, I met Jason through my partner, Megan, who knows Jason, has known Jason for a long time. And I remember sitting at the river one day, actually, here in Guelph with Megan back in, I think it was 2019, early in my recovery, early 2020, whatever it was. And I was just like, I could sit here all day and just listen to the river and watch the birds just fly around. I could give two fucks about anything else going on. And I had that sort of same moment too, where she was almost like somewhere along what your lines of what your buddy said too. Hey, the water's always been here. This water's always sounded like this. Trees have always looked like this. The birds have always been here. But I was just enjoying that moment, and it's so surreal. Like, I don't think anyone does get it, Jason, until they actually go through that change, that spiritual awakening, whatever it is for them. You don't have to believe in whatever you believe in. It doesn't have to be God, Jesus, Allah, whatever, the tree in your backyard. Who cares? As long as you believe in something, a power greater than you. That's all I believe in. I'll be honest, I don't believe in God or Jesus Christ, but that's okay. You don't some other people do, and that's okay too. And you do you, and I'll do me.
Yep.
But it's just I think it's just nature and my kids for me. Just even this morning, I on my way here, I was like I drove by the river and I was like, when I park my car, I'm walking, taking 10 minutes and walking back down there and getting that shot of the sun rising because I'm not gonna and it was just amazing. You know what I mean? Would never have done that when I was using though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know about yourself, but it sounds like you've had that same sort of clarity now.
yeah, yeah,
You enjoy nature.
yeah, I would definitely take that shit for granted. I would just be like, "Ah, it's always there, it's always there, it's always there." But I don't pray to God or Jesus either. I pray to the old ones, mine that my higher power is Odin and Thor and Loki and that. But I do when I do talk to them, it's the funniest thing because I get the most spectacular sunrises in the morning. It's almost, "We got you, brother. We got you." So, yeah, I will. I'll sit there and I'll walk with
Yeah.
my dog with my coffee, and I will just stop, and I will stare, and it's something about being there in the moment. It's meditative, and it's oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, brother. Like, it's just one of the best feelings in the world. That's all I can say because I've been gone for so long. I've been living a life of isolation and not solitude. I've just been gone. I haven't been alive, and now I am, and I'm so thankful and so grateful.
And you've had your struggles, like you were saying too, with mental health, mental illness. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but what sort of led you down this dark path to begin with? Did
Um,
this all begin, Jason?
we figured it out when my dad passed away back in 2003.
And that's always a good thing too.
Yeah, not that he passed away, but yeah, no, figuring it out. I get you.
Oh, no, it's not passing away, figuring out where it all began. No.
Yeah, I know, I got you, I understand. He passed away. Lung cancer took him from us, and it was just something I never got over. I, um, I ended up working in a bar right afterwards, and that was a drug and alcohol fueled life, man. You go to work, you bring your Hortons, you get a shot of whiskey in your Hortons for the night, and you just go from there. And then afterwards, to unwind, you'd be smoking weed and drinking until the sun came up. And then once I didn't grieve for my dad, everything started getting darker, and you started taking that rabbit hole down further and further, and you end up fighting people all the time because that was part of the job and defending yourself, and it got pretty dark. Yeah, I would definitely say it started with me losing my dad. Yeah, man.
And were you close with your dad too before he passed away? Or was
Y-
there some like resentment?
No, there were no resentments there. I loved my dad. I took care of him for I think it was 8 months from when he was diagnosed to when he finally passed. I like took him to the bathroom. A tumor severed his spine. He couldn't walk anymore. I love that guy so much. I miss him still. I've got pictures of him on my desk to this day. He was just a very kind and loving man. And I had no resentments whatsoever with that, man.
That's amazing, man. And it's awesome once you can figure out where this all began. Took me a long time, 25 plus years, almost 20 plus years to figure out, all right, this is where it's began. This is why I'm not getting better. I needed to open up to people and not hold my feelings anymore and just let loose. Let those feelings out. Let those feelings flow whatever way they flow. Go with the ebbs and flows of life now. And it just gets better day by day. If you guys do it one day at a time, that's all we ask for. That's all you can do is one day at a time. Can't worry about yesterday and can't worry about tomorrow because it hasn't come yet.
That's true. It's very true. You holding on to those feelings is only damaging you. I'm realizing now what's going on here. Oh no. Are we good?
We're good. We're good.
Okay. I don't know. It got choppy there for a second. Ah, crap. So yeah. So
No worries. It'll get choppy. Yeah.
okay. Holding on to those feelings is only going to damage you. I'm realizing that now. Like we could grow up. Like we're grown up and we're raised in a society where we're men and we're not supposed to feel feelings, and you're a loser and a whiner and a girl if you're sad and complaining and all that, right? So you're off the hop. It's pretty hard to express yourself, and because you don't want to look weak by feeling anything. And so we just swallow those up and they fester inside of us, and it sucks because that kind of behavior will be carried well into your life. Man, I'm 38 and I still have problems with sharing feelings. And I like the term pain shared is pain lessened. I heard a really cool thing the other day where the guy was like, this is how it works. You come in and you share your pain. I feel your pain and I get hurt by the pain. And so I'm taking some of your pain for you and trying to lessen the load of it all. And I've never heard a truer saying. Find a place to dump that shit and let's move forward. Like you can be sad, you can be angry because we're all human and we just don't have to live there. And I ended up living there for about 20 years, probably more. And yeah,
That's amazing. I love that the pain shared is a pain lessened. I love it, man. Again, I'll say that again for everyone that didn't hear it the first or second time. Pain shared is a pain lessened, man. Take that into consideration for all you people out there that think life is full of peaches, roses, whatever the hell you want to say. We're all going through shit. Everyone's going through stuff. Be kind to everyone. Let someone share their pain with you. Take a little bit of that today and help someone out.
yeah, yeah, man. Like once I heard that,
What?
I got all the chills in the world.
Yeah. It Yeah. I hear you, man. That made just humbled me when you said that because it's so true.
Yes, sir.
What are you most proud of in your past, Jason?
Hit me with some hard questions, eh? No, the one without a doubt going to ask for help, going into treatment, cleaning myself up. Cause I honestly don't know if I would be around because my addiction was telling me some mean and hateful shit and telling me to do some stupid stuff. And if I had listened, if I had given in, man, I don't think we'd be here talking today, to be honest with you. I think my higher power sent some family back into my life back in April. My brother showed up at the door and I was like, "Yo, he lives in Spain and now he lives in Thailand." And it was a really dark place. And if he didn't show up at that moment, I don't know what that one week that we had breakfast and one week we went to hockey games and we just hung out, man. I don't know. It got pretty dark.
And what was it like at the end there when it was really dark?
My mind would just tell me,
What was one of those dark days? What would one of those days look like?
okay, I'd wake up, I'd smoke about 3 bowls, make coffee, read some of the book that I'm reading, smoke more weed, try to draw, but I really couldn't near the end of it. Couldn't do shit like that. Smoke more. I was smoking something like 3.5 grams a day. So I'd be smoking like a chimney and I could not stop. And then I'd be going on social media, scrolling through social media. Sorry about that. I'd be scrolling through social media the whole time, seeing my friends having fun, living their life. I start thinking that they don't care about me, they don't love me. And then that's when the dark thoughts would be whispering, you should just go pardon me. You should just go down in the river and open your wrist. No one's going to care about you, man. No one care if you're gone. You should just go down and kill yourself. Don't give two shits if you're gone. And so that's when I started thinking, yo, man, something's not right. Something's not right if you're thinking no one cares about you and you want to end up killing yourself. There'd be times where I'd punch myself in the face. Self-harm was a big thing. It's just like I didn't know how to do anything. I felt everything, yet I felt nothing. And the only way to get through that was to feel something physical. And so before I could do anything, before I knew it, I'd just bam, punch myself in the face. Because I would think that I was a bad person for thinking that having those suicidal thoughts. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And so one day I just called the doctor and I said, yo, man, this is it. Let's go. And when it got really bad, I went up to the emergency room because I knew I was going to do something. And I just said, hey, I'm here because I don't want to die. And they're like, okay, you're doing the right thing. And so,
That's amazing, man. And I'm grateful that you're able to share this story, help me, help someone else who may be listening. If you're out there, it is better on this side. I'll tell you that right now. I think we've all had, not everyone, but myself, I've had those suicidal ideation thoughts and those types of things over time. And, but it does get better if you ask for help, like Jason did, like I've done in the past. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to cry. It's okay to do all those things. Nothing wrong with any of it, people. I'm grateful that you went and asked for help. Your local emergency rooms will help you. Things are getting better. There's lots of improvements in mental health and addictions that need to be done, but we're getting there one day at a time. We do have the help out there if you ask for it. There's many other resources within the communities too. If anyone ever needs some resources, especially in Canada here, please DM me. I have lots of resources that I can give you information to if you don't know about them already, for sure.
you know,
And it's cool in the States there. I wish they'd do this in Canada. But literally they have, do you remember 411?
yep. Yes, I do.
And but they have in the States now in the summertime, they just released this new number. I think it's 998 or 988. It's the suicide helpline,
Oh,
direct
really?
helpline for suicide. Yeah, but it's basically like a 911, but for suicides in the States. I think, and I don't think they have something like that in Canada, which I think it's like a 1-800 number still, but I think that a shorter number, it's easier to remember for people because it's 998 or 988. I'd have to double check, but I'll definitely put it in the show notes, everyone,
Yeah.
for the people in the States for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great program they rolled out there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I know ours is what, call here 24/7 or 1-800 call 24/7 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good program, but you're right. Something shorter for someone that's at the very edge. You're just like, I don't want to have to do this. And some people that are listening might think it's weird that a long phone number might prevent you from calling and reaching out for help or a suicide. But let me tell you, a long number is a long number towards some people. And you will look at anything to not to do that. So it's yeah, I totally agree with you. One day at a time, that's what they tell us. It is getting better, dude. It
That's what
is
they keep
getting
telling
better.
me, man.
Yep. It's totally getting better though. I agree.
100%, man, 100%. So, do you experience, let's talk a little bit of anxiety. Do you experience feelings of anxiety when you're around others now?
Yeah.
If so, what does that look like or feel like for you, Jason?
So yes, yeah, I still get it, but it doesn't rule the roost anymore. Before I'd be in a group of people, I'd be out at a show or something and I'd be getting really big and I'd be scanning the exits and making sure everyone's okay, and then I wouldn't be able to breathe anymore. So I'd bail. I'd get the hell out of there as fast as possible. I just worked the market at the Planet Bean, and you came to see me yourself there, and I was anxious as fuck about it because I had not done anything in so long like that. So my heart is just racing and my hands are all sweaty. Mom spaghetti. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, and I'm freaking out. And so luckily in the hospital, they gave me DBT skills because I'm an empath and my emotions are just massive. And I practiced some of that. I just stopped and I breathed in space. I used where I was, and I forced myself to go and get to know all the vendors at the show. Walked around. Hey, what's up? My name's Jay. How you doing?
It was
What?
awesome to go to the show and see this man's artwork, man. The guy is a phenomenal artist, and
Thank
I
you,
really
buddy.
think anyone out there, you can go online and order stuff too, man. You check before we go any further in this little conversation, drop where they can find your art though, man.
You can find my art on Instagram at Jinglis Art. So at Jinglis art. And there's a link to my Redbubble account on top of that in the link of the bio, I guess. And there you can buy stuff online and support if you want. That's pretty much where I peddle my art is on Instagram and Redbubble. And I love the
Yeah,
platform of Instagram.
that's amazing, man. So
Thank you.
it's an amazing platform, if you use it correctly. Use social media to your advantage, people. If you need a break, take a break. Nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
too. I've taken many breaks over this course of this year.
Nothing wrong with taking a reset, man,
So
at all.
nothing wrong with resets, everyone. Nothing wrong at all. Back to your anxiety though, like you don't let it rule the roost anymore. I love that you dropped some DBT skills. For the people that don't know what DBT is, let them know.
It's dialectic behavioral therapy, and I'm just getting into it, and I'm not a doctor on it or anything, but it's a set of tools that give
I
you
am not either.
it's a set of tools that will, like, allow you to calm your emotions down so they don't get so big. So there's, like my counselor has given me, as I call it, homework. She says it's practice. Two of the skills so far that I'm working on until I meet up with her again is the stop technique, and that is stop, take a breath, observe your feelings, observe what's going on, and then proceed mindfully. But I've also added pray in that as well because this is, yo, man, if I can't do it, I'm just gonna say to my higher power, yo, guys, give me a hand here. I need some help. The other one is the tip procedure. I don't know offhand what that means, but what I do is I go and I take an ice pack. 1 second. Alexa, stop. Alexa's talking to me. So tip is I take an ice pack, and when I'm really going through my emotions, I'm feeling depressed or sad or anxious or scared, I hold that ice pack and I start breathing through my nose and I just meditate. Even if it's for 30 seconds, you will feel yourself calm down. You will feel those emotions just slip away because your brain is literally only think of that ice pack in your hands and the breathing through your nose and like your lungs filling up and your belly filling up and like I used to think all
So
that shit was the
where
weird shit, but it's not. It's a beneficial thing.
No, I get it, and I'm in therapy right now myself, and that's just some of the stuff DBT is one of the things I will be learning. I'm super grateful I got back into therapy. I'm coming up on 3 years clean, but there's no wrong time to go back to therapy, everyone.
No.
Don't think you're a pussy for going back or whatever the hell your buddies wanna call you. They're the pussies for not going.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone that has anyone
Also,
go ahead.
what if you don't have an ice pack? I like that technique. Yeah, what if you don't have an ice pack for that technique?
Uh Frozen peas work. If anything, it's all about temperature, right? You can go under the run your
Oh, okay.
faucet. Yeah, so you can run your faucet as cold as you can, and you can just run your wrists under there and hold it and just be in the moment. It's all about getting your body to feel something different in that moment of time.
Nice, man. Thank you for explaining that and taking the time to explain what you've been learning in therapy. Therapy is for everyone.
In my experience, people that have anything bad to say about therapy or people going to get help or people trying to better themselves, they're just too afraid to do it themselves. So they need to chop your tree down. You know what I mean? So, like, you just listen to you and do what you need to do to get yourself better. And the ones who don't agree, they'll fall away eventually. And the ones who you'll bring new people into your life that love you and care about you and want to see you succeed and bloom. And those are the people that you wanna hold on to, not the ones that keep telling you that you're doing wrong.
Thank you for saying that, Jason. It's so true, man. The people that are meant to be in your life are meant to be in your life, and the people that aren't, they aren't, and that's okay.
It'd be really hard
Do the
to
simple things.
give her.
Sorry, go ahead. It'd be
It's
really hard for what?
it can be really hard to say, "Okay, these people can't be in my life anymore," especially if you've been with them forever, and once you realize and accept that, it's just like, "How am I supposed to say goodbye to my friends?" You know what I mean? It's hard, but it's just, what do you want? Do you wanna be unhappy, or do you wanna be using all the time, or do you want this new life that people promise is amazing? It just comes down to what you want and how bad you want
Exactly.
it. It doesn't mean you have to cut your friends out completely, but, like, you can change the things you do with them. You're like, "Hey, let's go get a cup of coffee." rather than go to the bar. Let's go play chess in the park rather than go to a bar. It's just got to change everything for everything to change.
Exactly. So do the simple things become complexities when we try to attain that perfection?
I think, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of things become overwhelming when you want to do everything right. When you have, now that I'm living life on life's terms, I have doctor's appointments and all these things to do. And it's nothing big, but it's just, oh shit, when am I going to find time for karate? When am I going to find time for this and that? And how am I supposed to write all this when I have to do this? And how am I supposed to draw? And it just like, yeah, it becomes overwhelming for me. I don't know about others, but I think that's also part of my anxiety complex as well, just working everything up into bigger, like, mountains out of molehills, and I think that's something I'll be living with for the rest of my life, and I just have to, once again, stop and breathe and bring it all back into a perspective and be like, "Okay, it's really not that bad, brother. You just gotta chill out." Maybe act like Matthew McConaughey about it without the pot. It's, "Alright, let's go, brother."
He does love his pot,
Yeah.
but if you want a good book to read, everyone, read that Matthew McConaughey book. I hear it's a good book from what everyone else tells me. I do believe we have it at home.
His Green Lights
So
book?
maybe I'll pick it up and read it. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard good things too. It might be my next Audible purchase, to be honest with you.
nice. It sounds like you're an Audible guy instead of reading the book directly.
I'm a little bit of both. I listen to Audible when I'm working on art because it's easier. It's you're getting two birds at once kind of thing. Uh, I'm listening to a story and I'm
Yeah,
working on some art, and but nothing will compare to a good book on a rainy day. A nice hot cup of tea, coffee, whatever your hot beverage is.
100%, man. Is there any books that you would suggest to anyone out there listening that they
Uh,
should go ahead and read or that
uh,
you've read lately?
what kind of books are we talking about? Like self help or just regular books? Because I've been reading a lot.
Self-help, any book,
Yeah, I've been Atomic Habits.
whatever's been on your mind.
There's one that was called Atomic Habits that I listened.
That's an amazing book.
Yeah, that I listened to that in the hospital, and, that was some cool shit and eye-opening, to be honest with you. Uh, I just finished Stephen King's new book, Fairy Tale, which is a fantasy novel about a boy trying to basically save his dog and turn back the time on his dog because he doesn't want her to die, which is really, and it's done in Stephen King fashion, and it's beautiful, and it's just I love when Stephen King writes something other than horror. You know, how he fills the horror into it and slips it into it. It's, oh, man, that guy's a master. That guy's a master, and if you think about all this
He
stuff
is.
that he's been through as well and how far he's come and whatnot, like, there's a person to look up to as well.
For sure, man. That's amazing, man. Yeah, if anyone's looking for a good book, Stephen King's an awesome read if you're into that type of stuff, for sure. I've read a couple of his books back in the day in my darker days too. But Atomic Habits, amazing book if anyone's looking for a good book to read to give yourself a new outlook on life and how to proceed forward creating new habits in your life and stuff like that and stacking those habits. Amazing book for
Yeah,
sure.
you can listen to it over and get something out of it each time.
Exactly. So before we go though, Jason, I have one last question, man. It is just a fun out there question, but do you think we will ever find proof of intelligent alien life in our lifetime?
I think we already have. I think the Egyptian pyramids and all the ancient Egyptian stuff it was based off aliens. I think the Egyptians had met aliens before anything in the world. I truly believe that. And like I was watching a
It makes you believe that.
one of my friends that I met, she was saying that there's what are the carvings, the engravings on the wall show like actual alien life, like people with bigger heads and whatnot like that. And I saw a really cool Futurama episode where the pyramids were actually spaceships and the cats are aliens. Futurama is legit, right? I watched a document. I'm in the middle of a documentary on Area 51 and all the stuff that they had classified and just opened up and whatnot. So I sooner or later we are probably going to be visited if we haven't been visited. And yeah, I truly believe. Like, how can you have this such a huge universe out there and not have other life forms on it? That's my question. That's just my question.
I feel you. I
I
feel
might
you.
be a spiritual weirdo, but that's what I believe. I truly believe that one day it's gonna happen.
Hey, nothing wrong. You can believe with whatever you want to believe in, man. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope, 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 not at all.
Nothing wrong at
I
all,
just hope it's
man.
not those Independence Day aliens
Yep.
that wanna take over everything.
and fuck shit up.
Yeah, fucking dick.
Lord, man.
That's funny.
I want to thank you though for coming on the show today, man. I truly appreciate having a good heart to heart talk. It's always great to have these chats with people on my show.
Yeah, man.
And
Thank
thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this, man.
thank you for asking
And
me. That
again,
was,
where can everyone find you if they'd like to purchase your art?
you can find me on Instagram at Jinglis Art. That's I can will you just put it in your notes on the show notes, I guess? It's Jinglis,
I'll
J-I
put it in the show notes, everyone, for sure. And I'll,
right
I'll
on.
link his store and everything.
Yeah, you can find if you do that'd be sweet, eh? Also, you can get to the shop on the on in my link on in my bio. It's up there or however they say it. See, I'm not that great with social media, but I do.
Thank you again, Jason, man,
Yeah, man. No
for coming
problem.
on the
Thank
show.
you.
It was truly a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
That was a lot of fun,
So
dude.
I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
You
Yeah,
too,
thanks,
dude.
man.
Yeah. We will talk to you soon.